Alright, y'all ready for this, man?
Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Big Vapers. And in this episode, we're going to review the new Lavatube 1.5-T. That's the Lavatube 1.5-T. So first let me explain why this is the Lavatube 1.5-T. There's actually more than one Lavatube out there. So there's the original Lavatube, which was known as the L-Rider or Night Rider Lavatube, which was the first Lavatube that came out on the market, the 1.0 Lavatube. And it came in black and stainless steel, and apparently a mysterious red version. There were very few of them. Then there was the Lavatube 2.0, which is also known as the L-Rider or Lambo. So it's the L-Rider version 2.0 or Lavatube 2.0, also known as the Lambo. Not the same as this one, which was currently released, which is the Lavatube 1.5-T. So this is made by Young June, a Chinese manufacturer. This is not a knockoff. This is still a very well produced and manufactured device. And it actually has, in my opinion, one up on the Lavatube because it has a higher amp limit. So the L-Riders, also known as the Night Riders, and the current Lambo are all 2.5 amp limits, and the Young June version is a 3 amp limit. So there's a difference right there. The other difference in these two versions is something known as PWM, pulse width modulation. And essentially what this does, it allows for or provides considerably more power and a better vape across the entire range of voltages. Of course, that's just my opinion and the opinion of some, though I know quite a few L-Rider V1.0 users who wouldn't dispute that fact, that the PWM implementation on the 1.5Ts is definitely a very cool thing that allows for a much better vape. It also does something that some people consider a glitch. I don't really consider it a glitch, but they don't power down exactly. They don't really fully power down. Some people say correctly, but they go into what is called zombie mode, or low voltage mode. What that means is it will still fire even though they seem to be turned off, which is not necessarily a bad thing. But again, that's opinion based. You can fully shut it off though if you want to, but it does have this zombie mode or low voltage mode, which there is a Morse code for, depending on how many times you click and or holding down the power button to shut it off. That does not happen, by the way, when you take the battery out and put the battery back in. It doesn't go into zombie mode. It is actually on or off. So some interesting things about the 1.5T and the L-Riders or Lambos, whatever you want to call them. So the ampage is definitely the big difference, as well as the PWM, which I think is kind of cool, and the zombie mode. Now, what tells them apart? There's two things. The 1.5Ts are branded Lavatubes, which means that different vendors carry the exact same Lavatube, but they're branded under different names. I've seen them called the Variable Volt. I've seen them called the Veritube, the X-Tube. They go by various different names, and sometimes they're just called the Lavatube 1.5T, and there's nothing wrong with calling it that. The other thing is they will also, a lot of the times, have the insignia. So you'll see this one here. It's kind of hard to see, but there's 3 V's on here for V3 Vapers or Vaporous, which is the vendor I purchased this from. So they are also branded in that sense. They don't say Lavatube. They're also not an aluminum body. This is a chrome body. So this one is all chrome. There's stainless steel, and then there are the aluminums. I know that the most of the 2.0 Lavatubes, the new Lambos, most of them are aluminum, and they come in silver and in black. Though there is, from what I heard, an L-Rider version 3 coming out soon, and that version 3 will have a 3 amp limit like the 1.5-T. But in terms of how they're made, I've tried them both. I see nothing wrong with the 1.5-T. I opted for the 1.5-T really for two reasons. One, the amp limit. One, the amp limit, and two, because I got it from a a vendor I know who's local, who I trust, and I was able to pick it up really easily and didn't have to wait for it. Yes, I wanted the easy way out. But nonetheless, it is still a great device. It has its pros and cons like any device has its pros and cons. The biggest telltale sign between the Young June Lavatubes and the L-Rider or Night Rider Lavatubes is the power button usually. The power button is red on all of those versions. On the 1.5-T, it's the same color as the rest of the body. Okay, so I just wanted to clear that up because I know a lot of people have asked those questions. I've seen a lot of people talk about it. What is the difference between the L-Rider, the Night Rider, the Lavatubes, and the 1.5-Ts? So those are some of the differences, and this is a 1.5-T. Now let's take a look at the close-ups. Okay, so here is a closer look at the Lavatube 1.5-T. So this is the branded Lavatube. This is the Young June Lavatube. Not the L-Rider or Night Rider Lavatube 2.0. So the first differences you can see right off the bat is that it is branded. So you'll notice the insignia on the bottom right here. This is from where I got it at, Vapers. So there's 3 V's there, V3 Vapers. And you'll also notice that the power button is chrome like the rest of the body and not red. So the two telltale signs that this is a Young June 1.5-T Lavatube. It is a chrome body, not stainless steel. So now let's take a look at some of the features. Okay, let's take a look at some of the features here on the Lavatube. So first you'll notice that there are 3 buttons here and an LED screen. There's no battery in here right now. We'll put a battery in it in a second and show you when the LED screen comes on. But here we have a plus and minus button. So to lower and increase the increment by 0.1 of the voltage. And then our power button here, which allows us to turn a device on and off, put it in zombie mode, as well as display the LED so we see how much power we have left. We can see our voltage, and we can also see the ohms, which is great to be able to know what the ohms are coming in at on various different devices. On the side here we have our button. Unfortunately, this is the only thing that's not chrome. It is a plastic button, but it's nice. It's a nice button. It's clicks well. Nice little sound. Does the job. Here on the bottom we have a hole for venting. A pretty big hole actually for venting, which is great. And then on the top, this is what I love most about this Lavatube, and that is the Ego connection. So it's great to have this Ego connection so that you can put Ego devices on there like the Stardust, the Vision Ego Clearmizer. But it's flush like this so that we can easily put any other 510 connected device into the Lavatube. So now let's take a look at what happens when we put a battery in here. So the bottom here unscrews. Pretty good. Not so bad. You'll see that the cap, so the hot spring is connected to the cap. It's a pretty good hot spring. Stiff, but it will work itself in after a few days. There's the inside of the body. Not like you're going to be able to see much, but that is the inside of the body. You can see the threading. Threading is okay. I found that the first few times I needed to screw the end cap in, it was pretty tough to screw the end cap in. I don't know what was up with the threading, but it seems to be fine now. Maybe it was just me when I was screwing it in. So this is a standard. I'm going to use a 510 battery. 18650 battery, sorry. And I find the easiest way to do this is I start by pushing it in to get the first couple threads. So, it's wrong angle. Let me do this from the right angle. There we go. And then I use my palm to push it the rest of the way. And it fits nice and snug. So let's take a look at the screen. Hopefully we can see it on here. So press this 6 times fast and it will turn on. There we go. So there you can see that it's currently registering. Oh yeah, when you don't have a device in there, it will say for the voltage or for the ohms, it will just say 9.9. But there's the voltage right there, or there's the ohms. There's the voltage, and then you can see the battery to the right of that. Do that again. You can see the battery. So now if I screw in my Addy, this is a low res dual coil Addy. Okay. And now when I press that button, we'll see the ohms register. Oh, sorry, there we go. 1.6 ohms, 3 volts, so not bad. And then you can see increment by 1, going 2, then going down. So when you first put a battery in, it always starts at, will always start at 3.0, so it kind of resets itself. So that is the Lavatube. The Young June Lavatube 1.5-T. Okay, so that was the close-up of the Lavatube 1.5-T, so a good look at the body, the buttons, the LCD screen, some of the features on the screen. I love the fact that it's all chrome, that the end caps are all chrome. I love the Ego connection on here, which is great for using Ego devices. I absolutely love Stardusts. You've probably heard me talk about it in other videos and on my blog, so those are things I do love. Obviously, one of the cons is the fact that it's a plastic button and that the threads on the bottom are a little rough and it takes a bit of time to work in, though it seems to actually be doing a lot better than it did in that video. Not exactly sure why I was... Mostly the multitasking, try to hold the camera and do different things. So real quickly, just going to go through some of the interesting features on the Lavatubes. Now, this goes, other than the amp limit and the pulse width modulation and the zombie mode, everything else is the same for these Lavatubes. So they all have the same basic specs. They all have a 10-second shutdown. If you press and hold the power button for more than 10 seconds, it will shut it down. That's we'll put this into zombie mode. On the regular Lavatubes, it will shut it down. To fully shut this down, the battery needs to come out. It has a short circuit atomizer protection on it, which is really great. It has reverse battery protection, so what that means is it protects against putting the battery in the wrong way, though it's pretty difficult. Don't take offense to it out there, anyone who may have actually done that. Maybe you just weren't paying attention. But if you put the battery in the wrong way, it will detect that and it will make sure that you don't have any short circuits. It also has, which is very cool, battery monitoring for over discharge protection. So it monitors over and under discharge, actually. So the device should monitor the battery voltage and automatically turn off when the battery is discharged. Haven't fully tested that, though. It has automatically shut off on me when the battery is dead. Actually, the LCD screen will flash red, just like an Ego battery does. Like, you know, the button flashes when the battery's dead, it will do that. And what's interesting is if you take the battery out and then pop it back in, it will turn on again and show 1 bar of power and let you vape a bit and then shut down again as it detects that the battery shouldn't be used because it's at the end of its capacity. So it's fully discharged, which is a pretty cool feature. So it should also, from what I understand, it should monitor and shut itself off if it detects any kind of excessive overcurrent conditions as well in here. So I don't know if you have bad threading or you're using the wrong voltage with the wrong ohm, or there's a short circuit of some kind. It should automatically shut off. And of course, the large vent hole in the bottom, which we've already talked about for venting and all the other little features. Now, how does it vape? Vapes absolutely wonderfully. I have had zero problems with this. I absolutely love this device. I think it is a solid middle of the road variable voltage PV. You can't really go wrong with a Lavatube 1.5T or the other Lavatubes for that matter. This was just my choice, but I think it's well made, well built. Like again, there's some cons, but I mean nothing that's a killer in my opinion. No game stoppers here, and it vapes really well. So let's take a look how it vapes. So right here, I've got a VV Nova on here, which is great. I love the VV Novas. So registering at 2.4 ohms. I've got it at 4.2 volts, which for me I find is a nice sweet spot for this. Oh, great vape. Lots of vapor. It vapes really well. I have no problems getting the device on here. I'm actually really loving the VV Nova on. I'll be honest. I'm loving the VV Nova on the Lavatube. Here's the Stone Tank. Yes, yes, yes. I know the Stone Tank. A lot of people don't like these. I actually like the Stone Tank despite some of its flaws. If modded correctly, it's actually a really solid tank. It's too bad they've discontinued these tanks. Anyways, let's take a toot off of the Stone Tank. Also really great. And this is coming in at 2.0 ohms. And again, I'm at 4.2 volts. Not going to play around with the voltages right now for this. Well, I guess I can to show you. I mean, I can pump this bad boy all the way up. 5. That's a solid vape. Lots of vapor. Great flavor, man. It is a good tank. It is a really good tank. And performing very well on the Lavatube. No leakages yet. Nothing in here. And then, of course, one of the main reasons people love these is because of the ego tip. And I love the fact that the way the Stardust just slips in there because of that well. Fits in there perfectly. You screw in that Stardust. It's almost as if the Lavatube is a variable voltage device for Stardusts. Though you could say the same about the Ego C Twist. But nonetheless. Vapes really well. And yes, I just vaped the Stardust at 5 volts, which they say you shouldn't do. And I got to tell you, depending on the juice, I don't ever seem to have any problems. They say the max is around 4, 4.2. This is at 4.2. Oh, got some really good banana. I love that banana juice from Vapers. Vapes incredibly well. Actually, yeah, it does vape better at 4.2, but the point is I can crank it up to 5 and not have to actually worry about any of that. Let's get an Addy on here. This is a 510 dual coil Addy. I love these Addies. Drip tip, drip tip. I've got some Blueberry Blast in here from Vaporous. So good. So I've really been loving mostly the 510 dual Addy on here and my Stardust. So there you go, the Lavatube 1.5. Sorry for such a long video, but I mean I know a lot of people have been wanting to check out and know more about these bad boys. So this is awesome. Love the Lavatube 1.5T. Check it out, or go with the other Lavatubes. This is a great device, so keep on vaping. Follow me on Twitter at DigiBomb. Check out the website, bigvapers.wordpress.com. I'm going to leave you a little more of this. All right, keep on vaping, guys.
All right, y'all ready for this, man?